What's going on, Reject Nation? We are going to watch some new Rockstars today, the Easter eggs and trailer breakdown for Venom, Let There Be Carnage trailer number 2. And look who decided to join us today. Look who actually showed up.
That's right.
I knew this was coming.
John, happy to have you. You care to explain why you weren't here?
Yeah, I woke up a bunch of times before my alarm went off, and I didn't wake up when it actually did. I mean, everyone's been in my inbox haranguing me, so your intro worked.
Hell yeah.
Blown up on both social medias of mine.
That's what I'm talking about.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and Venom Let There Be Carnage is a new trailer that lets there be plenty of carnage, with Venom doing an impression of us whenever Sony releases a No Way Home trailer.
Oh shit, that is the Raimi one.
Get vaccinated and we can revert coming this fall to coming this September and save Christmas by keeping No Way Home on schedule too.
Sure, I'll drink that Kool-Aid. Oh yeah.
I am hearing rumors they might be delaying it, and that a big part of it is that because of the D variant going around, I don't know if that's a keyword we can't say or not. Apparently they want everyone to get back. This is not my own political statement. This is something that I've been hearing a lot of sources talking about. So maybe it's true, maybe it isn't, but I wouldn't be surprised if at this stage the movie ends up getting delayed. Get vaccinated.
I'm gonna break down this trailer frame by frame for all the hidden details that you might have missed, including the ways this film will fuse or refuse to fuse to Sony's other Spider-Man titles. We open with Eddie on his Ducati. He did have a motorcycle in the first movie, but not a Ducati. And notice how Venom controls his hands as he drives, similar to how Eddie let Venom Jesus take the wheel in his previous chase. Now, Eddie's helmet is a matching red with a black visor, and his motorcycle jacket is black with blue stripes and one red stripe, all of which could be part of a color scheme to reflect his relationship with Cletus, Kasady, and Carnage. Venom in the comics is black with a blue outline often, and Carnage is of course red with a black outline. And this movie revises Carnage's origin story from Eddie's symbiote producing an offspring that fuses with his cellmate Cletus Kasady to instead now be the result of Cletus biting Eddie and getting Eddie's symbiote infused blood in his system.
I have tasted blood before, and that is not it. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine.
I actually really like that detail. A big part of what I'm loving of what we're seeing with Venom Let There Be Carnage is how personal everything is feeling, but protagonist and antagonist. And the fact that Cletus gets it from biting into Eddie, I'm sure there's a part of it where Eddie feels really responsible now for what's going on. So it just makes the journey that much more personal. But John, what are your thoughts on the trailer of that moment?
Wow, I have a different thing to say based off of what you said.
Yeah, say it.
I just think that that's a great change, kind of. I mean, I'm one of the few fans of like the organic web shooter, so every time they throw something into a movie that's like, that's a really clever and also really disgusting and twisted and fitting for the character, more so probably in this case twist. So I'm for it, G.
That would have been a great point in yesterday's video.
I'll record my own trailer reaction like we did for the Suicide Squad.
No, it's the last reactions on montage. It's okay.
Maybe this color design is that you got your chocolate, my peanut butter, you got your peanut butter, my chocolate idea, with Carnage's early form still having that black in his face before he appears to go all red.
Oh, cool. I didn't think about that.
Similar to the 1999 Mummy, who still must feast to reach his final complete form. Meanwhile, after the bite, those bits of red in Eddie's
fiction
costume
today
are reflecting the way Kasady has left him with some internal sickness.
That's
Venom
neat.
chews on this tired chew toy marked Snooki, not spelled like Nicole Polizzi spells it, but like Snooki's cookies. Also looks like a tire that might have been used as a buoy on the side of a boat that might have been named Snooki. Eddie warns Venom that they'll be dragged off to Area 51. And interesting of Eddie to mention Area 51 existing in this universe because Area 51 was the subject of a blog post on J. Jonah Jameson's Daily Bugle website that was released by Sony. Now, as we still wait for a trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home and speculate on the ways Loki and Sylvie busted up the MCU's sacred timeline into a multiverse, we gotta admit, J.K. Simmons showing up as J. Jonah Jameson in Far From Home with no explanation could be one way alternate universe crossovers could have already been happening in the MCU and thus could signal Sony and Marvel's plans to justify how these crossovers are happening.
One thing I was talking with Paul from Heavy Spoilers about, maybe Spider-Man's not getting delayed, maybe it's gonna come out the release time, maybe we'll get that trailer so late, but I'm remembering that the Venom first movie had a scene from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse as its post-credit scene. So perhaps, like with how the Morbius trailer shows you Spider-Man there, maybe there'll be something in the Venom post-credit scene that directly ties into Spider-Man No Way Home. Talking about multiverse, we saw Daily Bugle in the first Venom trailer. Maybe that's part of the delay on the trailer release?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, because think of it. I mean, Sony wanting to bolster their half of the universe and get people psyched for their 900 plus characters or whatever. That would be the surest fire way to get people to go see Venom.
Insert joke about John not showing up for yesterday's to keep the bit going.
That's not to say Venom Let There Be Carnage will be in the MCU. No, I don't think that's going to be the case. But with a title like Spider-Man No Way Home, I think Sony might try to hint that it could be kind of this nexus point where on
Let us in! Let us in!
We want that Marvel money!
And like this Venom corner of the universe. We visit the Ravencroft Institute, a prison and lab where super criminals are experimented on in the Marvel comics. An East Coast version of this showed up in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, where Electro was briefly kept. We see this woman with silver hair walking down the hallway. She actually later appears outside of Shriek's cell, closing the hatch that's presumably to prevent Shriek's sonic blasts from getting out. This woman also showed up outside the chamber in the last trailer. This could be Dr. Kafka, who runs the Ravencroft Institute in the comics. Now,
that
Shriek
would make a lot of sense.
Harrelson, who teams up with Carnage in the Maximum Carnage comic that seems to be partly inspiring this movie's plot. She has the ability to emit these powerful sonic blasts, and considering such frequencies tend to destabilize symbiotes from their hosts, I assume she will end up being the crucial weapon against Venom, or Carnage, or both. Notice how she has one blue eye, a nod to the blue mark that is over her eye in the comics. Here, look closely, she is reading the Daily Bugle, and the headline, I think, reads Cletus Kasady dead. Maybe Cletus...
How did you make that out?
Relationship. And when Kasady escaped, he could have been falsely reported as dead, with guards and media either not understanding what that Carnage transformation was, or technically this transformation occurred after he flatlined in the execution room.
All right, time to lay down a theory. I feel like Shriek is going to have a change of character.
Ooh, and then come over to the light side,
or maybe
become an
sacrifice
anti-hero.
herself in some way.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Kind of getting a sympathetic approach to her from the glimpses we've been getting.
I would agree with you, because I have expertise on this trailer.
That you did not show up for.
I didn't show up for it.
We did it.
I didn't even watch it back.
We did it. I'm over it.
This is therapy live for you.
And when I do a breakdown of this movie, that will be the point I pitch a batshit theory that the whole movie takes place in Cletus Kasady's flickering fantasies in the moments of his death. Venom breaks Eddie's nose.
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Please let me fix it so I can fix it again. You are a loser.
And you can see how Eddie's crooked nose straightens itself from the inside, similar to the way Venom
I didn't notice that.
In this crime scene where Eddie is being interviewed by media. Now, Eddie's interviews with Cletus Kasady seem to have led to discovery of bodies of Cletus Kasady's past victims, making the police look bad and making Eddie more of a star for the Daily Bugle. And we see Eddie working on that story on his laptop, Daily Bugle West Coast Edition, since, of course, it is based out of New York. Inside the mind of serial killer Cletus Kasady. We get inside the mind of Cletus Kasady, the famous serial killer of our country, in this exclusive report that delves into his dark past, investigating his motives and madness. The masthead and logo are the same as the design we saw in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, unlike the InfoWars design of the website in the MCU. Now, of course, the Raimiverse already had a Venom, and the Andrew Garfield Mark Webb had a Daily Bugle and a J. Jonah Jameson, who appeared only in angry emails in Peter Parker's inbox. On the left side of the screen, you can see that Eddie has an actual account with the Daily Bugle server, meaning that he is working for them full-time now. Among his notes are some of Cletus Kasady's drawings, with a tree in a church similar to the sketches he made on the walls of his prison cell. And on the tree is the quote, "To thee the strife was given between the suffering." This is a line from Prometheus, an 1816 poem by English poet Lord Byron, which is a celebration of the Titan from Greek mythology, who stole fire from the gods to benefit mankind. It romanticizes his defiant struggle against the gods' wrath as he brought mortals and immortals closer in status. Similarly, with a title like Let There Be Carnage, a paraphrase from the book of Genesis, Kasady sees himself as a god figure, seeking to immortalize himself by stealing a power that came from the heavens. Similarly, on his prison cell wall is a quote from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, title also known as The Modern Prometheus, which was written in the same English Romantic literary era in 1818, exploring a similar subject matter of mankind defying mortality and producing this suffering, lonely Promethean figure.
We gotta have a cult here. We gotta have a Carnage. He clearly wants it. It's clearly inspired from the comic run that did that. And I like that the trailers haven't showed us it, but I just think it would be incredibly and awesomely, sadistically, coolly. Did that.
Be the twisted, most dark Marvel Sony movie yet. Just disgusting occult, murder scenarios and cannibalism and devil worship.
We see a lot of characters who idealize themselves, who think there's some greater being, dumb, pretentious serial killers. I think it would be cool if he's actually starting to succeed.
Plus, then you open yourself up to even more symbiotes for the inevitable threequel.
Symbioteso!
Kasady says,
People love serial killers.
correctly observing that this latest craze of true crime genre and documentary series and podcasts, society really has this dark fixation with famous sadistic psychopaths. Kasady bites Eddie on his hand, the same place that Peter Parker famously gets bitten to get his powers, though in this case the power transfer goes to the biter. And in the other trailer, Kasady kills a spider as he writes these postcards to Eddie, which looks like he's writing it in his blood, which might be how this relationship grew prior to the cross-contamination. Kasady helps Eddie grow in his journalistic fame, so now Kasady feels like Eddie owes him something. Carnage stops Kasady's execution. You can see it leaking across his eyeballs in these red ink stains, actually similar to the bluish blackish ones in Eddie's eyes in the previous film, and then bursting out of his chest and his hands in these red tendrils. And listen closely to this moment. Yeah, there's that little squeak at the end of the roar that you can also hear later during the prison shootout. And that doesn't sound like a pained whine released by a wounded animal, but rather a high-pitched demonic squeal made by something whose vocal cords are mid-transformation, like a windpipe being turned inside out. And Kasady morphs into Carnage. I love how it first drains his eyeball to form this bulbous form of a Carnage eyeball, all while tugging out the side of his mouth that he opens to release Carnage's thick, gross tongue, as if this is all tearing out from Kasady's scream. He spends a lot of time in this
slow down.
Which seems like a nod to the level of the Maximum Carnage game, but I believe there also might be some influences from the more recent Absolute Carnage comic series, which featured Carnage taking over a cult worshipping the symbiote Clintar deity of Null and puppeting the unfortunate homeless of San Francisco as these drones as he forms his Church of Carnage.
Commentary.
If he took over homeless people in this movie, people would say how relevant this movie is. It's conditioned of a
Commenting on one of
virus.
the biggest problems in America right now, and it's using comic books to get the message to the people.
Exactly.
Which is what this is for.
It would be pretentiously deep.
It would be exactly what everyone wants, and I hope they do it.
And it would offend a lot of people, but the homeless people can't afford to watch this movie. So.
Yeah. They're not going to be any the wiser. And this was the moment that we got sent to hell.
And this is when we got canceled for a stupid joke. We'll buy them tickets.
Homelessness is a
They
serious
can get a private
issue.
watch party at the cinema.
It's not a crime.
Now, the previous trailer showed Stephen Graham's character, Detective Mulligan, in his office with a map of San Francisco's Tenderloin district, known for its high population of homeless people, with a few incident markings on those blocks. By the way, it is believed that Mulligan could be Patrick Mulligan, a cop who, in the comics, gets infected with an offspring of Carnage to become the character Toxin.
Actually, that would be a neat setup. You're obviously introducing this Mulligan character as a protagonist in this film, and then if there's some type of fall from grace, if he does become an evil symbiote character Toxin, I imagine that if you're doing a Venom 3, they might get multiple ones to go up against.
Tons of all the seven. Get all the seven symbiotes.
Exactly. So I think that would be a really cool way to have a little bit of a Harvey Dent tale to it,
And keep on probing at the what human element does to, the symbiote relationship.
Carnage helps Kasady escape prison. You can see as guards are closing in, one of Carnage's tendrils in the background suspend one dude high in the air. These guards shoot at him and he opens a hole in his chest to let the bullets sail through and hit the guards behind him. But this also shows how Kasady isn't floating inside Carnage wearing him like a suit, but rather his flesh is fully infused with the symbiote matter. That's why Venom freaks out when Carnage is a red one. It signals to him that Kasady has fully given over his blood to the symbiote, making them one. one, a stronger and more lethal connection than the give and take of Eddie and Venom's relationship.
It's like manipulating on a molecular level.
Yeah.
It's like T-1000-ish.
Or I've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's like the graviton, the way it just, it completely turns you into the material of the host, which is, it's almost like the parasite has taken over and become the host.
Yes.
And now the host is just a puppet.
This is why I love New Rockstars, is I didn't pick up on that detail at all, because Eddie's definitely like kind of wearing Venom.
Yeah.
Whereas he's that's so cute. That's a difficult villain to go up against.
Absolutely, and maybe that lends more credence to the idea that he could have been dead, flatlined at the point where Carnage fully takes over.
Carnage pins his prison guard and gives him a Franchi. I can't really tell if he's feeding on his organs or using the spiky tendril of his tongue to whisk it all up. And then this title card says this fall. A bit worrisome since the release date is supposed to be September 24th in the US, September 15th in the UK, making some of us a bit concerned that maybe rising cases of the Delta variant might delay the release. No, this does not mean Spider-Man No Way Home will get pushed. I just think Sony is keeping their options open for Let There Be Carnage. Carnage faces a helicopter with his tendrils wrapped around. It looks like his convertible there. Now, Kasady appears sitting next to Francis in this car in the other shot. And then there's a third shot showing Francis using her sonic blast to blow out the windshield at someone while pieces of Carnage are wrapped around this car. I assume this is all part of their escape from the Ravencroft Institute, which you can also see as Carnage's arms explode out of the hatch of Francis's cell, and another shot where it tears down that same Ravencroft hallway. Then it also shows a framed photo of Annie with a cat from the first movie named Mr. Belvedere. Now the hand holding that frame has that engagement ring, making this Annie, so maybe Eddie returned this photo that he had of Annie as a way of signaling that he is moved on, that he's okay.
It was Anne.
And then this great moment where Venom reacts to Carnage.
But Annie.
Where you going? It's a red one.
You need to come out right now. I will let you eat everybody!
Promise.
I promise!
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's a bit similar to Hulk's refusal to take the reins from Bruce Banner in Infinity War, but here, Venom clearly fears Carnage and Kasady's pure blood symbiosis compared to his weaker hold on Eddie. Now, I love this detail. Eddie's Mumford Phys Ed Department shirt with his Detroit Lions jacket is a nod to another famous Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop 2. And when Eddie says, "I'll let you eat everybody," he is referring to multiple enemies that they're about to face. And if you look closely on the far end of the church on the altar beside Kasady, there is a dark figure standing beside him. That must be the final form of Shriek. We also get this pretty gnarly close-up of Carnage's head. Notice the texturing on his tongue, all these black pockmarks like it is decaying, and then the contouring of his eye socket. It is jagged, just like it is in the comics. Like someone took their fingers and dipped it in white paint and just smeared it on the back of his head.
So gross.
Doing a victory dance outside San Quentin, and then robbing what looks like Mrs. Chen's store. The cashier could be her son.
Don't you hurt Mrs.
This
Chen.
means Kasady is in Eddie's neighborhood. Security feed on the screen nearby shows outside, including that red convertible that he's been driving around in. And then this montage of the fight between Venom and Carnage. Carnage's appendages pin Venom against the wall of a church, putting him in a Christ pose, meaning he might try to execute him via crucifixion in this church. It's a bit appropriate there. Eddie and Annie meet at that restaurant that they dined at in the 2018 film.
But if you compare the shots of this, it's blue in the other one, but that was a red illumination symbolizing Carnage. I have added to the New Rockstars video.
Dude, you should join New Rockstars.
You didn't show up yesterday.
I know, I screwed up. Stupid.
And her engagement ring. If you compare that to the one Eddie gave her in the previous film, now that center stone is surrounded by a double halo and has stones on the band. It's just a way more expensive version of the ring that Eddie got her, which might be why Eddie and Venom take it so personally. You can support New Rockstars by checking out our many great merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EAVoss. Follow and subscribe to New Rockstars. Thanks for watching.
I am never going to wear it in this room again.
But you have a blue one. I made sure to get a black one. I specifically emailed like freaking Johnny to tell me he got one.
I'm sorry.
Where's your blue one?
Okay, tomorrow I'll have it up.
Okay, I should read this whole reaction
I
now.
know, now I gotta go get my shirts. And I'll bring my red Loki shirt too, so that,
Well, thanks for that, New Rockstars. I think this movie is going to outdo the first one by a long shot. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Guys, leave your thoughts down below and all your theories. Subscribe to The Real Rejects. Click that notification bell. Subscribe to New Rockstars. And hit that like button. Blah, blah, blah. Let's do it. I want to shout out today Michael B. Omni Media, who, of course, was on top of this reaction yesterday. The guy's covering so much stuff right now. He is a game changer in the reaction field, and you guys would love his reactions. So much so to the point that after he didn't show up yesterday, I was like, Michael, I'm looking for a replacement. Do you want to replace John? He jumped at the opportunity. He's like, I don't know. I mean, can I live up to the great John Humphrey?
It's very
And
easy
I'm
to
like,
do.
let's not get, so watch the adjectives here, Michael. You're definitely a man who understands the importance of staying up late and waking up early and never sleeping. Like, if anyone's got it locked down better than me, it's Michael. Guys, I want you to welcome the new reject to the family. Slowly going to be phasing out John here. But hey, after yesterday's messages and DMs, you got more followers on social media, so it's about time you start up your own channel
They're all
now.
enthusiastic. Too. They're all really happy comments of people who want to see more of me. Michael, hey, if I couldn't pick a better white dude to replace me, you were my top choice.
I was going to go with Aaron Alexander, but I'm like, nah, let's go with another
No,
white
it's got to
guy.
be another white guy. Don't diversify too much. I mean, you're already only half white, so.
Yeah, I know. Because to get the movement going for more diversity, it's got to be white people who are speaking up for it.
Absolutely. It's always the white guys at the very top who have to trickle all the change down. That's how the world works,
And
you guys.
keeping it going, you, Michael.